My name's Peter Hogg. I head up talent acquisition for the UK and Ireland at Schneider Electric. I've been with Schneider about 4 years. Just before I start, a show of hands, who's heard of Schneider Electric before? Wow, I'm impressed. We don't make lifts or escalators. A lot of people think we do. That's not what we do. So what I'm going to do, clicker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment just to talk you through Schneider and what we do, very, very briefly. I'm then going to try and paint a picture of some of the challenges that we face in recruitment and how flexibility has been the solution to some of those challenges. I hope that some of you will identify with them. At the end, of course, there'll be time for questions. So, first of all, at Schneider Electric, our technologies make sure that life is on for everyone, everywhere, at every moment. And life is on when life is energized, and we know that by 2050, we'll see a 50% increase in the power demands of the population. But in paradox to that, there are still 2.3 billion people in the world who don't have access to safe, reliable electricity. Life is on when life is efficient. And so to really move the needle on climate change, we know that we need to see 3 times more efficiency in our processes than we do today. We also know that there is significant 82% efficiency still to be found in our businesses and more than 50% efficiency still to be found in industry. And finally, life is on when life is connected. So for every one person from now who becomes connected, and not everyone's got a smartphone today, there'll be 10 things that become connected. And so by 2020, we expect 30 billion connected devices. And that's huge. That's a really steep curve. And of course, software runs everything. And so at Schneider, our technologies are what bring all of this together to make sure that life is on, bringing efficiency, bringing energy, and connecting devices so that we can really make sure life is on and tackle the energy dilemma. If anyone's got any other questions about Schneider, ask me afterwards. Okay, so just to outline then some of our challenges in recruitment. So we are a truly global organization. Perhaps there are other global organizations here in the audience today. So we're about 150,000 people globally. We are about a 25 billion euro organization. And it says here, we're HQ'd in France, but our exco are spread out across all over the world, across the US, France, Hong Kong, China, Germany, Dubai. So our exco aren't all holed up together in Paris. Equally, we're a truly global organization with global BUs, matrixed. Schneider has undergone over 200 acquisitions in the last 10 years. So we've been a really fast-growing, acquisitive organization, and that with it brings a lot of complexity and a lot of legacy. And finally, of course, being a truly global organization, we collaborate across time zones. Again, and many of you will be able to identify with this challenge. And something we're very proud of is that from a sort of P&L point of view, our geographies are balanced. That is to say, we make about a quarter of our turnover in Western Europe, about a quarter in North America, about a quarter in Asia Pacific, and about a quarter in the rest of the world. So I'm bringing us down to the UK and Ireland level now, which is my scope. In the UK and Ireland in 2017, we recruited 757 permanent people. Now, across that profile of hires, we had 153 hiring managers who only recruited once. Of the 317 hiring managers that we had, or managers that hired in 2017, only 24 of them hired more than 5 people. And only 9 people hired more than 10. So we at Schneider in the UK and Ireland have a lot of one-offs. We look for niche talent. We're not out there. We're not in the business of volume recruitment in the UK and Ireland. And so for my team, that presents significant challenges. In addition to that, of course, and this is something which we hear a lot about right now, we've had the introduction of Generation Z to the workforce this year. Generation Z being those who were born after 1996. And we know that Generation Z have got a number of interesting characteristics, not least that, and this is a Forbes study, but Indeed and Reed and lots of other people have done some great studies around this. The Forbes study says 64% of millennials, as a priority, want to make the world a better place. And I've heard some really interesting stories about this. People, young people, Generation Z turning down big salaries in banks to go work for startups that really have an impact on the world. Now, Schneider Electric is not a startup, but we need to think like one in order to really focus and appeal to Generation Z. Again, some of you may have similar challenges. We also know that 72% of Generation Z would like to be, at some point, their own boss. And that's borne out from the talk I've just heard from Kevin Green from the GRC, who gave some really interesting data about that. 88% want to work in a collaborative work culture rather than a competitive one. 74% are looking for flexible working schedules. And some of you will see this in the young people joining your organizations. 88% are looking for work-life integration, which is not the same as work-life balance. It really is blurring the lines between who you are as a person and who you are at work. Bring your whole self to work. That's something which we try to encourage our people to do, and something that we're really trying to embed into the culture at Schneider Electric. And finally, and this is really interesting, recently with an aging population, an aging workforce, and lots of other different factors, we now have 5 generations in the workforce. And so that means that we've got a lot of people from different demographics and backgrounds, all needing to work together, having different needs, and at different stages in their lives. That presents challenges to us as recruiters. And then there's diversity. Who in the room has got targets around gender diversity in their organizations from a recruitment standpoint? Okay, so we do at Schneider. We've got fairly aggressive targets because we know that diverse organizations have creativity of ideas, have better behavior, and ultimately make more money. And so we're really pushing to really make sure our labor force is fully diverse, not just from a gender standpoint, but also from lots of other standpoints as well. Again, that brings challenges as recruiters, because we're under a lot of pressure from the business to deliver a balanced slate. I love this. This is a LinkedIn post from one of my colleagues at Schneider, who's posted a picture of her daughter, and it says, so grateful to work for Schneider Electric, who allow me to have a fulfilling and exciting career whilst giving me the flexibility to be a mother. As for my daughter, I'm raising her to think that nothing is impossible. Happy Women's Day, and this was posted on International Women's Day a little while ago. So I show that post just really to demonstrate the commitment of Schneider to diversity, which is brilliant, but presents all sorts of problems for us in a technical niche field where the market has got at best 20% females to offer. We need, as a business, to get a disproportionately high number of or proportion of that talent into our organization. Again, this presents us a challenge as recruiters, one that perhaps you guys can identify with. So, we've implemented at Schneider something that we call our principles of flexibility. So, we believe at Schneider Electric that flexibility at work is crucial to becoming a more agile and attractive company. And the workplace should allow employees to effectively manage their work and life and family needs. And this is something which we're really trying to embed into our culture at Schneider Electric. But all the while, and this is a piece of research by an organization called TimeWise, we're still, as an industry, not doing a great job of promoting flexibility in our job ads. So you can see here, and this is a proportion of job ads which speak about flexible working options. You can see in human resources, TimeWise found that only 7% of job ads actually spoke about flexibility. In IT, 4.9%, and in engineering, and QA, 3.9%. That's bad. That's really bad. And contrast that with the fact that 84% of males and 91% of females say that they want to work in a flexible environment. We know this rises to 92% of young people. And people are really looking to find that work-life integration, to really find that balance, and you know, want to. They say that it's useful or convenient, but also to accommodate caring responsibilities and a whole bunch of other things as well. So this is really interesting, and perhaps look it up on the TimeWise website. So why offer flexibility? We know that the market's asking for it, but actually, we as an organization, you as an organization, stand to benefit a lot from offering flexibility to your workforce. First of all, it creates loyalty. People will work for companies that give them the space they need to raise a family, to have other interests, to travel, to try different things, perhaps to work, you know, compressed hours, or, you know, be a morning person, or be a late person, or whatever. Offering people the flexibility to bring their whole self to work breeds loyalty. And I can speak for that personally, having been at Schneider for 4 years. It also broadens the talent pool. So for us at Schneider, because we have so much one-off recruitment, we can't really be picky as to where we search for our talent. We need to look, you know, if a classic hiring manager scenario, we're looking for a developer in Worthing on the South Coast. Well, that's great, but guess what? You know, Worthing on the South Coast isn't a great place to find developers. We as an organization need to be flexible about where we can put that talent, and that drives for some really interesting conversations and some really strong business partnering with our stakeholders. Of course, it increases morale, so lower absenteeism, lower staff turnover, and higher engagement. People feel valued. People feel like they're able to be treated like adults. Value add, so, you know, employees who work flexibly don't clock out. They take their work with them. And finally, it's a smart strategy. So from a sort of boardroom perspective, flexibility is a strategic move. It's not an employee benefit, and that's something that we really need to get through to our leadership teams, to our excos, to our HR VPs, and throughout our organization. This is a strategic move. This is how we attract the best talent in the market, and we take away a lot of the roadblocks that we as recruiters face in an ever-tightening technical environment. So what have we done at Schneider Electric? Well, and this is something we're very proud of, in 2017, we introduced something that we call our Global Family Leave Policy and Principles of Flexibility. Now, I want to be very, very clear, and I'll go through the details of this in just a moment. This is not, from a UK perspective, revolutionary, but it's a really important cultural statement of intent that says something about who we are as an organization, and it strengthens our reputation as an inclusive company or an inclusive employer. So, what does this look like then? Well, and this is global. For every country, anywhere in the world, at Schneider Electric, we offer 12 weeks full pay maternity leave. Again, for the UK, that is not groundbreaking. But as a business, to say that we offer that everywhere, frankly, is. We offer a minimum standard, and these are minimum standards, right? A minimum standard anywhere globally of 2 weeks, secondary parental leave. We offer a minimum of 1 week care leave. So if a parent or a carer needs to take some time out, it doesn't need to be an awkward conversation. This is embedded into the culture. And finally, 1 week full pay bereavement leave. Again, I really stress that these are global minimum standards. But for us, it's been a real statement of intent to our employees and to the market of who we are as employers and what our culture is all about from a flexibility point of view. And it's been really powerful for us. In addition to that, we've got our principles of flexibility. And so what does that mean? It means that employees can expect and feel confident in having the conversation with their line manager about flexible working hours, about telecommuting, which is a posh way of saying working from home, about activity-based working, so working in different places and in different environments to do different types of things, about about having flexible holidays, part-time, volunteering, and a flexible dress code. This just enables people to bring their whole self to work and to take out of the equation the sort of anxiety or difficult conversations which can so often happen in organizations with line managers. It just takes all of that out. And again, it's been really powerful for us at Schneider Electric. So, it's early days, but we've had some early successes. So, firstly, and I love this, it's provided a framework within which our employees can expect the company to support their work-life balance. So for me, that really speaks to culture. This sort of stuff doesn't just happen on its own. And so it's been really powerful that the global family leave policy and principles of flexibility, which have kind of come down from the top, have enabled employees to feel that way. It's provided a framework and a toolkit that has improved confidence of our hiring managers when offering flexibility. So often, hiring managers will do what they've always done and do what their predecessors have always done. This enables our hiring managers to take risks on talent, to say that actually I'm not going to have my team all co-located because that's what I've always done, but to say actually I'm going to take a risk, I'm going to locate someone elsewhere and I'm going to manage that person and I'm going to make it work. And guess what? 9 times out of 10 it'll pay off, sometimes it doesn't, but if you're going to have a culture of flexibility, you need to build in the ability for leaders to be able to take risks. It puts additional focus on our culture of strong, authentic leadership. And coming back to my last point, managers in a flexible environment must manage. There's nowhere to hide. Managers need to do a good job of managing. Maybe they've got remote teams. Maybe they've got people who have been brought into the organization without the full skill set or competency set. Maybe they're hiring people at 70% competency because that's the talent that's available. They're taking the risks. Managers must manage. And it's been really powerful for us to be able to monitor that. It's been a framework for us to have those kinds of difficult conversations and frankly really valuable conversations with our leaders in the business. And finally, it's given our talent acquisition team, me and my team, I guess the advantage when challenging our managers to think differently about talent and to think differently about flexibility. We've still got a long way to go at Schneider Electric, but we've got this framework which has been woven into our culture that says that my team are able to really challenge their managers around flexibility. It's been really powerful for us. Right, what's my next slide? Right, so we've had some early success. So this is our employee engagement curve since 2013, and you'll see in 2017 we saw a significant upturn. And the drivers that brought us that upturn were specifically in these 4 areas around diversity and inclusion, well-being, effectiveness, and empowerment. We've got a happier workforce, even in a relatively short period of time, for the fact that we've been able to make a really strong stance on flexibility. I'm just going to show you a little video which goes into it kind of promotes our global family leave policy and principles of flexibility.
We are a Venezuelan family living in Boston. We're both working parents. We try to enjoy the time that we have at home as much as we can with both of our kids.
I had just moved here in the beginning of the year when I found out that my mom has a serious health problem. I was very grateful because I could go home to spend some time with her before the surgery.
When my son was born, I had been working at Schneider Electric for a week. It's a culture where being able to be with your family in those momentous occasions is really important to them and really valued.
On December 13th of last year, I received a call from my son that he was transgender. There have been several times where I've had to go see my daughter. It makes me feel good inside to know that I have the support of my boss and other people from Schneider. I know what it is and how important it is to take care of your family, whether you have older parents that are aging or whether you have younger children that you need to take care of.
I'm Brazilian. I'm born in São Paulo. Working for Schneider is something very special, and I'm sure that if something happens to my family, I could be there.
Be able to balance home and work is already a very difficult thing. So if you are given that flexibility at work where you're able to work at your own timing, I think that really does help a lot.
If need be, in a desperate time, there's no company will support you in desperation better than Schneider Electric. It's almost like you're within the family. Some of the people just, they love the other people that they meet along the way, and that's been my feeling, that it's almost like second family working for Schneider.
I can be a much more responsible manager when we are trying to give as much as flexibility to the employee to take care of their family without this type of a global policy. So now we can formalize everything to really enable them to fully focus on taking care of their family first.
At Schneider Electric, we believe in a culture of innovation and inclusion. And one of the many ways we support the diverse needs of our people is through our global family leave policy and flexibility at work principles. No matter who you are, where in the world you live, or how you manage your life and work, you can always be at your best.
So all of us and all of our team members have got a diverse set of needs. Everyone has got their own story. If we're all going to bring our whole selves to work, we need an organization that enables us to do that. As for me, I'm a dad of 5. That brings with it significant challenges, and so this is a picture minutes after my 5th son was born, just 8 months ago now, where he met his older brothers for the first time via FaceTime. For me, it's hugely valuable to work for an organization that gives me the space to be the best I can be in my profession, and I give a lot to Schneider. I travel, I work long hours, but do you know what? When I need time, when I need space, when I need to focus on my family, Schneider Electric gives me that opportunity. And so with that, coming back to the time-wise piece, we say on all of our job adverts, very overtly, at Schneider Electric, we are open to having a conversation about flexible working. Now finally, just a brief plug for the Good Recruitment campaign. This has been really good for us at Schneider Electric. The guys are here today. Kevin, Kuba and Steve are here. You've probably spoken to them already. They're on stand 40. It's a free initiative that you can sign up to with a charter, some best practice statements which challenge us really to be the best that we can be in recruitment. I strongly recommend that you guys take the opportunity to speak to those guys and sign up. Again, it's free, and for us, it's been a really good peer group to bounce ideas, to do peer reviews and audits. They've recently brought in a qualification for in-house recruiters, which sets a really good benchmark for how we want to see our industry evolve. So that's just a brief plug for the Good Recruitment campaign. And with that, I'll thank you for your time. Thank you.